how does this wealth arise? It's if you organize people in a better way to produce products and services that are better than what existed before, and you have some ownership in that company, then that essentially gives you the right to allocate more capital. So there's a conflation of consumption and capital allocation. So let me take Warren Buffett, for example. And to be totally frank, I'm not his biggest fan, but he does a lot of capital allocation, and he reads a lot of sort of annual reports of companies and all the accounting, and it's pretty boring, really. And he's trying to figure out does Coke or Pepsi deserve more capital? It's kind of a boring job, if you ask me.
Woo, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that man just said Warren Buffett is boring. Let's get into it. What is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I am. Good Doc Talk Stocks back again with a very, very interesting video. This has been one that has been in the catalog for quite some time that I've been waiting to discuss for the longest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have none other than Mr. Elon Musk, Mr. Innovator of Innovators, aka the CEO of Tesla. Not the founder of Tesla, but the CEO of Tesla Company. They are the innovators in electronic vehicles. You guys should already know how the game goes. All right. And in this particular clip that he had on the Joe Rogan podcast show, he said that what Warren Buffett essentially does as far as a job is considered to him to be very boring. Now, I can understand where he's coming from that particular aspect. You got to understand, Elon Musk is an innovator, and I keep saying that, but again, he is constantly inventing, constantly finding ways to increase the value of his electronic vehicle company, as well as trying to find ways to change the world. Let's not forget he is involved in SpaceX and a whole bunch of other ventures. I don't need to go into his history because I think you guys are very much aware of his history, but if not, Google him. Biographies will definitely help you out. But again, this man here says that what Warren Buffett essentially does is boring. And I think the reason he said that is, again, because he's pretty much in a space where he's constantly creating. But what Warren Buffett does is basically he evaluates spreadsheets, annual reports, and things like that. And like he said, he's going to determine how much money he should put in one company or another. He kind of used the comparison of Pepsi and Coke and things like that, which I found to be funny because I did a video on that as well. But I've learned over time, and this is something that I found to be interesting about this, because on a deeper level, this really does talk a little bit about how the new age investors are versus your old school investors. I can admit that some of what Warren Buffett says, fundamental wise, I can hold on to that forever. But a lot of the moves that he's made, a lot of the companies that he's chosen to invest in, I would personally say that probably wouldn't have been my move. Now, again, Warren Buffett is a guru. He's a legend in this game. So when he moves, it seems in any move that he makes, it's going to make the news. So imagine he's into, what did he get into recently? I forgot. I'll post it on the screen if I can remember. One of the newer IPOs that just came out. I think he just got into. But if you think about it in hindsight, maybe that wouldn't have been a move for me. So you can't necessarily move the way Buffett moves. And if you are a new school investor, you're going to invest in the things that you like. And if you're pretty much into innovation, this car in front of me is loud, but if you're into innovation, you're probably going to find yourself into more stocks that have potential for growth than you will likely find in stocks that don't have potential in growth. You know, your more dividend stocks. We'll get into a video on dividend versus growth investing in the near future, okay? But here, the way Elon Musk explained it is, look, man, we're two different minds. We're two different views. The way I view my work and the way that he does what he does is different. But again, to me, it's more or less the difference between the new age and the old school type of investors. People are shunning Bitcoin still. Can you believe that? I saw a clip the other day about how Charlie Munger, which is Warren Buffett's partner, called Bitcoin stupid. I would not look at Bitcoin as being as stupid. Maybe you wouldn't have looked at Bitcoin as if it's stupid. But if you're an older investor and you've made money doing what you've done before, why, you know, fix what is not broken, in your opinion. So that's where I feel he's coming from. But us as newer investors, we're looking at Bitcoin like this is going to change the world. This is going to be the new wave. We're looking at stocks like Tesla. Oh man, Tesla's gonna change the world. The electronic companies are gonna change the world. Electronic vehicles and companies that invest in these particular things are gonna change the world. They're probably looking at it as, well, you know, I hope that they're around for a longer period of time, and I hope they're around to see the development. But, you know, we're looking at some really older school investors. I mean, isn't Warren Buffett somewhere in his 80s now? Charlie Munger, I know he's up there. So again, I felt like the particular topic of this video was very substantial, not necessarily because he called what he does boring in reference to Elon Musk on Warren Buffett, but basically the idea, the mindset, the ideology of a more new school investor towards your older school investors. I think it would be almost impossible to try to get these newer school investors involved, the old school investors involved in the new school. They stick to what they know. So again, you can't blame them. But I like this video, and I hope that y'all picked up on what I'm putting down, and I hope that you were able to understand a little bit about how I felt the interpretation of that video went. This has been a good doc.